everyone, thanks so much for joining me. In this video, we're going to cover plank pose, a really challenging pose. I find it most challenging to be able to maintain my form. It's really easy to go and pinch the low back. It's really easy to tense the neck. So we're going to try to work through all those things, maybe work through some potential modifications. I will be using one block and the wall. Okay, so if you have access to those things, you might find those helpful. We might visit chaturanga or that tricep push-up that is so often done in many classes. So we'll just see where we go. But go ahead and make sure, if you have access to one, that you have a block. I'm going to place my mat close to the wall here. And I just want to show plank pose first in an upright position. So basically, you're in mountain pose with your arms out in front, okay? So just kind of get a sense of your mountain. Feet are hip distance or a little less widthwise here, and toes all pointing forward. Soften your knees, root across your feet evenly, and just start to feel the strength, okay? The length coming up the body. It's really easy for the arm bones to unground. So we're going to keep the head of the arm bones grounded, engage, lengthen, and just test the waters here and see, what does it feel like the right distance between your hands would feel best. Okay, so maybe wrists directly forward of the shoulders, maybe slightly wider, okay, just to allow you a little bit more space. And a block can be handy to help the legs remember to ignite. So your block can be placed, okay, in a way that feels best for your legs. So I'm going to have that available. And I'm going to get here down close to the wall so I can place my feet at the wall. I just want my heels to have the reference of the wall so that I draw energy up my body. Okay, so I'm going to place the block and I place the heels. Now just make sure you're not on the toes. My feet are in this, it might be difficult to see, but at an angle. Okay, so you're going to find that angle where the balls of my feet are not at the wall, but my heels are. Okay, so I'm just going to place them there, got the block, and walk my hands forward. I'll probably have to adjust things, okay, to make sure that I'm going to stack. Okay, getting the head of the arm bones in. My heels are not quite staying connected to the wall, but they will in a second. Okay, so you inhale to get a sense of just how you feel. Exhale to see if you can engage and lengthen. Yeah, I'm way too short here. So I'm gonna walk my hands more forward. Okay. All right, so tweaking. All right, so head of the arm bones need to be in. I'm really using the wall here. Pressing my heels into the wall, peeking at my toes, making sure they're pointing directly, forward, down forward. Okay, depends on how you think about it, but they're not turned outward, okay? And you might fatigue pretty quickly, so you'll have to rest, return, okay, and explore. I'll probably hold it for a little bit here, but feel free to bring your knees down, head back into child's pose, release the work, re-enter as you feel ready, okay? So again, I'm gonna have my heels up at the wall, head of the arm bones in, really trying to find that sense of length. I'm using the block, okay, squeezing it between my inner thighs and trying to find mountain pose with arms extended. Okay, so I'm looking for, internally I'm looking for a feeling of length and space. I'm looking for that muscular effort in the thighs and the glutes. No pinch at the low back or the neck, okay? So engaging across my feet, squeezing that block, engaging the base of the glutes, drawing the belly button, okay, up toward between the shoulder blades, the sternum, sternum to the throat, throat to the base of the skull to the crown of the head. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Maybe shift my heels away from the wall, hoping to maintain the position, and then rest. Yeah, right? A lot of work. A lot of work everywhere. I'm going to go ahead and take the block out of the way. Okay, but you can still use it. You can rest your wrists, rest everything, your arms, you could keep them out in front, you could bring them by your sides, okay? But now I'm going to try to scooch, here I'm going to scooch away from the wall and try to have that same awareness. Okay, so no block, no wall, all right, but I'm going to pretend that they're still there. Okay, as far as I'm going to pretend my heels are still at the wall. I'm going to pretend that I still have a block between my thighs. I set my hands up a little bit wider than shoulder distance, so around the edges of a standard mat. And I also have, I tend to have my middle fingers pointing forward. You can explore this with your index fingers pointing forward. You just want to have consistency between the hands, and you want to distribute the weight evenly. So it's very similar, right? It's the same setup as downward facing dog, okay? So rooting across the palms, plugging the head of the arm bones in. Since I'm going to have less reference with the wall, no block, I need to really be mindful, extra mindful about it all. Okay, so plugging in those thigh bones, pretending I have a block between the thighs, drawing the base of glutes, pelvic floor in and up toward the belly button. Okay, I'm going to extend one leg. Okay, finding length. Okay, I want to be able to hover the other leg without losing my alignment. Okay, watching out for any sort of hypermobility in the elbows, and really connecting with your strength in the shoulders, back, down the glutes, thighs, breathing here. So here I am just working in my plank. I'm just going to show a little transition to chaturanga, trying not to lose my form. So you roll forward, okay? So I'm just showing back and forward, and it's still, I want to pretend I've got that wall, even though I'm moving my feet, okay? Or moving the heels. All right, so I'm going to inhale as I go forward, and on the exhale, exploring a little bend. I don't want to lose control, okay? So I want to be able to sustain this, maybe straightening the arms, and you can lower the knees. I'm going to show it a little bit deeper. So lengthening, trying not to get dippy in my low back, going forward, and then bending in such a way that everything stays consistent. I'm still bringing energy up the body, in toward the midline, lengthening, pressing back to plank, lowering the knees, and resting. A lot of work, a lot of work. I don't know if you would think it looks easy or not, but it's not. Okay, so now I'm going to show the transition from plank to down dog to plank. I meant to do it on the down dog video and forgot, so here we are. All right, so setting this up, spreading the fingers, right, rooting across the palms, drawing the energy up the arms, pretending I've got that wall, okay, and engaging the inner thighs as though I have the block, lengthening, and I'm a little too short here, so I'm going to lengthen the stance. Okay, hopefully I have a fairly straight line. It's tough. I mean, I tend to have my bottom a little too high. I would rather have it too high, though, than too low, because then it's easy to go into the low back. All right, I want to stay out of any pinch in my low back. So lengthening, here I am, plank. I'm going to head back in to downward facing dog. You could have your knees bent or straight, but you want a seamless line, if you can, a seamless transition from down dog to plank. As far as the positioning of the hands and feet, you know, it's helpful if they're consistent. You'll have less awkwardness in trying to move them about, okay? And it's really common for your wrists to be fatigued, so you could do a little gentle, you know, pressure. Here my quickened breathing here. But you just want to, you know, circle with the wrists, or just gentle check-ins, and make sure you feel okay. They really, healthy wrists, okay, will tend to recover pretty quickly. So I'm not usually concerned, because they're not, when I'm in it, I don't feel pain. They fatigue, okay, but I don't feel pain in the wrists. And then I just work them out, okay, and over time, everything strengthens, as long as you're doing it properly, okay, everything strengthens without strain, and your threshold for being in the pose lengthens. So a very challenging position. You could absolutely do it with your knees on the ground. You can kind of visit straight leg plank and then bend the knees, straight leg. I find it more challenging to keep the form in my spine when I lower the knees. So it's harder to keep the head of the arm bones grounded and lengthen the spine. So I rather visit straight leg plank with the wall, with a block for however long as possible, and then lower the knees and rest. So that's me. You can work with this in any way that feels safe and effective for you. So that's plank pose, a little bit of chaturanga, transition from plank to down dog and back to plank. I hope that you found this helpful, and I hope to hear from you. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.